Hey nesters, welcome back to the channel Nesting Haven. Today we're heading over to our larger Goodwill and doing some thrift shopping. Hopefully we can find some vintage treasures to pick up to resell, or maybe just find a few things to add to my own collection. So let's go ahead and check it out. Right when I walked in, I saw these beautiful pictures here. There was a nice little set. They're asking $10 a piece for them though. And I guess if I was to keep them for my own home, I could potentially pay that price, but for resale purposes, I can't, pay $20 for the set and get very much for them. So that was definitely a retail price. Again, I looked over in the Halloween section. This was the last day I went looking for Halloween. And that piece was really nice. It was this kind of spiky cobalt blue candle holder. You guys that saw my Stephen King thrifting video saw that I did haul this, and that is available now up in my Etsy shop. I wanted to take one last gander through the Halloween costumes where they are keeping most of the vintage clothing and see if I can find anything cool. I really like this skirt here. It seemed to be probably from around the 60s, and it was a good pattern on it. I liked the flow to it, and it just had a really nice design. Do you guys like that they include the vintage clothing in the Halloween stuff, or do you wish they would keep it out year-round? Our Goodwill has a very small rack of vintage clothes they keep out, but for the most part, it seems that they just store it away for Halloween time. I also found this nightgown that I thought was very gorgeous. I like the lace around the sleeves, and definitely another vintage piece. I'm not understanding how they thought this would be considered a Halloween costume. Though I did see a little girl once dress up in a nightgown and kind of had her hair all messy and her makeup was kind of running down her face, and she said she was a tired mom. So maybe that would have been a fun costume to use for that. This is the second set of the black molds I've found. Usually I do find them in the white, but I really like the black color. And again, this had the metallic painting of the flowers, so I guess that was a option when these were around and available to paint. They made these vintage trays nearly impossible for me to take down. I attempted it, but I didn't want to knock all this stuff down, and I just gave up. And I'm not even that short, really. I'm an average size in height, so yeah, they were just difficult to get down. These are the Pennsylvania Dutch Good Luck Hex Candy girl and boy that I found. They actually are piggy banks, and I do have those listed up in my Etsy shop now. I already hauled them in my Thanksgiving Thrifted Finds video I put out yesterday because I thought they'd look really nice put out in Thanksgiving decor this season. This here is a first for me. I've seen collector's plates, I've seen mugs similar, but I've never seen them as part of a whole set, and especially on a stand. Have you guys ever come across those before? That was definitely a first. This vintage iron trivet was kind of cute, but I've been trying to not pick those up anymore. I used to have a bad problem about picking up trivets, and I'm doing much better. This was a great find for me. Even though it was chipped, I collect vintage state toothpick holders, and I didn't have any from Maine, which is the state I live in. I did pick this up even though it was chipped because I've never come across them before, so it was a decent price. Had this Looney Tunes mug not had somebody's name on it, I definitely would have picked that up. But to find someone named Connie seems a little bit rare. I don't think it's a super common name, so I did leave it behind. Behind Connie's mug was Dawn's mug. I assume that was her husband, perhaps. And again, it was a really nice Cape Cod mug, but the name Dawn, I guess, is a little bit more common, but it's a hard sell just having people's names on things, I think. I thought this teacher's mug with the spinning apple on the handle was kind of neat. I don't know why I find myself always checking out the coffee mugs because they're not really great sellers. Honestly, you don't make a lot of profit with them, but they are fun to look at for sure. So I thought I had it all figured out, and I thought Connie and Dawn were together up there on the top shelf, but then I saw Carol's Cape Cod mug, so clearly she was with Dawn. I have appreciation for a lot of different decor choices, but I don't understand the coconut figures like this. I just don't get it. This Capodimonte piece I've almost purchased 2 or 3 times now, and I was surprised to see it because I hadn't seen it in a little bit. And I decided to check it over again and to try to remember why, and there is a broken pedal on that side, but I think that's only the main condition issue to it, so I don't know. It's $4 now. If it goes down to $1 a day, I might go ahead and pick that up. It's really nice. Thinking this might have came from the same home because, again, it kind of had that metallic floral to it, even though it was more of an off-white color. It was pretty nice, I think, and it probably paired well with the black ones. Who's going to see a tambourine on the shelf and not pick it up and shake it? You gotta make some music, right? They had this pair of glasses on the top here. They were asking $1 for this set, which is pretty good. They seem to be in nice condition, probably not ever used. But there were only 2, and summertime is over, so I kind of get turned off once the season's changed. I will take a break and not purchase things that remind me of that passing season. I saw this in the box and I got excited, but then I took it off, and look how disgusting these are. They're all corroding around the silver, and ugh. This was a cool find. I found these vintage hazel atlas plates. There's only 2 of them, but still, I've never come across those in the thrift before, so definitely neat. I wanted to check out this vintage maple syrup dispenser in the back here, and I don't ever see them with the plastic in good condition. Usually there's a lot of gouges within it, and this one was exactly the same way. You see along the edge there how it kind of has some plastic chipping away. I don't like to purchase things like that with the plastic come away from it. I just don't think it seems safe. These glasses were really neat. They kind of have etched glass to them, but it had some starburst, and I don't know what those are supposed to be, comets or, yeah, I don't really know. I found this really pretty vintage thermos, and the condition wasn't half bad on it. A lot of times when I find these, they are dented or super rusty. People buy these not even necessarily to use them as their intended purpose. People like to just display them and use them as decor. They look really great when you have a grouping of them, especially if you're really into camping and outdoorsy stuff. I think they look really nice. Does this pie plate look shallow to anybody? I feel like it's not deep enough for a pie plate, but maybe, I guess you could fill it up with pecans. They're not as thick as maybe the apples and stuff, maybe is what I'm used to. Now these are weighed figures and they're not worth very much. I think Goodwill even knew that. That's why they weren't priced. These two had some condition issues as well. This style here with the animals that has the one-tone color are not worth very much at all. Recently, a lot of 68 sold on eBay for only $20, so that kind of gives you a hint that they're maybe 25 cents a piece, right? And if you see weights, you definitely want to look out for the ones that are like the Humpty Dumpty. They have a little bit more of a multicolor. The ones with people, they're worth a little bit more. Still not a whole lot, but those are the ones you want to look out for. So unfortunately, when I saw this and I took it off the shelf, I saw the giant crack down the lid and it went completely through, so it was possibly re-glued. If that wasn't the case, I definitely would have purchased this. It is a fine china, and apparently it's still worth $3 according to Goodwill. They had a couple of Japanese coffee mugs they set over to the side. They're asking $3 for them. I guess they knew they were a little bit more special than the standard dollar price ones that they have. And I've been seeing a lot of these large figures lately, but it really makes me nervous to ship them because they're so heavy and they have things like bird wings on them that would snap very easily if something heavy had fallen on it. So I do tend to skip those even though they are very beautiful. I really liked this piece here with the copper sailboat. I thought that was quite nice. So I went over to their Christmas section, and I'm looking forward to when the Halloween and fall stuff are out of stock, so the Christmas stuff will be better organized. They kind of just have it thrown together because they are bringing out more. Who is eating candy out of those dispensers that come out of their rear end? I think that's so disgusting. I don't know why they ever came up with that idea. I found this in that basket. I was surprised. It looked initially like just kind of some junky things in there, but that was a good find for sure, so I'm glad I looked in there. So once I found one treasure, I kept digging and I found a second. I really like this Santa, how he's climbing up on the ladder. It is an ornament, but I feel like I would just use him on a shelf or use it as part of an assemblage Christmas craft decor piece. If snowmen are your choice of Christmas decor and you especially like vintage ones, definitely go check out my yard sale haul, my recent one. I took you along with me yard sailing and I just happened upon this amazing yard sale. The entire garage was filled with vintage snowmen, so if you do enjoy snowmen for decor, you're definitely going to want to check that out. I was really excited when I happened upon it because at the thrift store, I don't really find vintage snowmen. I find vintage Santa Clauses and angels and such, but snowmen seem to be more rare to find. I think there are just more people that like to keep them and decorate with them because they're definitely out there, but just apparently not at the thrift stores. I was kind of glancing around and I didn't think I was going to find much of anything else, but then I spied this bag here filled with some vintage ornaments and was super excited with the price of $2, so I will share with you, I'll unbag that and share that with you in my thrift haul, so make sure you're subscribed if you want to check that out. I personally like to decorate with a lot of Santas. I have quite the collection, so I was excited to find this mug. I really like to pick these up, and then I will usually stick in a bottle brush tree and kind of do a craft out of it, so when I can pick them up for $1, it's definitely a great find for me. How many of you are already putting away your fall decor and trying to break out your Christmas stuff? Let me know in the comments below. I will admit I've already got one shelf going for Christmas, but I am trying to keep my Thanksgiving decor out still. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like on your way out if you did enjoy, and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye!